The Senate will now come to order. The Pledge of Allegiance will now be led by Chief of Staff Tax, followed by a moment of silence and reflection.
If willing and able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. You may be seated.
The clerk will now call the roll. Please correct the pronunciation of your name if it is incorrect.
Baber. Barnes. Barr. Bean. Bracy. Bryant. Byer. Calder. Cost. Creed. Durham. Felix. Galavati. Galt. Goldstein. Bruner. Haber. Hamilton. Harvey. Hensley. Hurd. Howe. Kay. Kwame. LaPinta. Lapsley. Lynn. Malachi. Brandon Miller. Isabella Miller. Montalto. Morgan. Peterson. Rangavajula. Ravi. Sane. Sellers. Spittler. Tanner. Vaught. Wall. Wenzel. Whitehead.
With a quorum being present, is there a motion to approve the Journal of January 10th, 2024 as found online? Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. We are now in line for general orders of the Senate, beginning with special guests. Claire Haynes, President of the Residence Hall Association, you are recognized to give a report before the body.
It is exciting to be back this semester. It's wonderful to see all your lovely faces. RHA has had some really important updates at the end of last semester. We are passing legislation to our Constitution next Monday to mandate the green certification process for every RHA event that we host. So this is going to be both our executive board and also our neighborhoods. This is to support our overall advocacy initiative of ensuring the more sustainable use of materials and limiting waste on campus. It is being amended as well to not allow RHA Senate money to go to any event that is not green certified. We they did go and check all of the water bottle filling stations over break and all those filters. They're going to start doing routine checks on the filters to be sure they're all green. As of now, they should be good to go. We did have a successful operation renovation that happened in November, and we've had some follow-up since. We got a lot of suggestions about laundry and the contracts regarding capacity in the residence halls. We're hoping to see an improvement on that, and I've gotten some exciting news that we're not going to share yet. McBride was power washed over break, so if you noticed, McBride is looking a little more white than it was. That was requested by our Sumter neighborhood. We are scheduling more meetings to go over other projects, talk about timelines and feasibility. We have talked with our RHA Senate about how a lot of these projects are legacy projects, so we might not see them this year, but we can in the following years. We will be hosting our RHA Executive Board elections next week. We've had a significant number of applicants, so I'm really excited. We have to do this so far in advance because of the continuing student housing application, and we need to be sure that our exec has preferred housing. With that being said, the continued housing application opened today. So if you are looking to live on campus next year, go ahead and fill that out. It is limited housing due to the increase in freshmen that are expected on campus. As that freshman class continues to grow, housing will hit its capacity quicker with upperclassmen. We are doing a January event on January 31st in Russell Underground from 6 to 8, and we're going to do painting tote bags to encourage more sustainable use of bags at grocery stores by students on campus. We are going through some financial reform to ensure that we are being fiscally responsible and doing some intense budgeting. So we are counting our monies a little bit better this semester. With that, I yield my time to questions.
The president yields to questions. Are there any questions for the president? Senator Morgan.
Madam President, I'm curious. You mentioned continued living application. Just from my personal education, what dorms can be open to those conditions who live on campus? Is it the same as past years?
No. So as of right now, Park Place is the primary location for continuing students unless you're in a living and learning community. So like, for example, honor students will be allowed to live on 650 or like on the Horseshoe. But other than that, it's primarily Park Place unless you're in a living and learning community. Today was the first day, so there have been some system issues, but hopefully in the next few days, things will get more routine.
Any other questions for the president? Seeing none, thank you so much. We are now in line for reports from Senate leadership, beginning with Speaker Pro Tempore Baber. Is any of the chair people willing to give a report on rules? Seeing none, we will now hear a report from the Academics Committee. Chairwoman Creed, you are recognized.
Hello, everyone. So academics met Monday at 6. We met online because I've been a little bit sick and also due to a holiday. I have no new updates, but we're continuing to work on our initiatives. And with that, I yield to questions.
The chairwoman yields to questions. Is there any questions for the chairwoman? Seeing none, thank you so much. We'll now hear a report from the Finance Committee. Chairwoman Durham, you are recognized.
Right. Hi, everybody. We had our regularly scheduled finance meeting at 3:30 p.m. on Fridays. We had a total of $13,329.39 that were requested, and we approved $2,104. I give my time to questions.
The chairwoman yields to questions. Is there any questions for the chairwoman? Seeing none, thank you so much. We will now hear a report from the Health and Safety Committee. Is there anyone willing to give a report on that committee? Seeing none, we will now hear a report from the Inclusion and Equity Committee. Chairwoman Bracy, you are recognized.
All right, hey y'all. So we did not meet today, but I sent out a document of my expectations of what I would like to have done by Sunday. So we caught up a little bit about what break was like, and then on the document I listed a few tasks that I would like to be completed, like reaching out to the FSL office and reaching out to other committee heads about potential things that we would like to get done, and we will be meeting on Zoom on Sunday. I yield to questions.
The chairwoman yields to questions. Is there any questions for the chairwoman? Seeing none, thank you so much. We will now hear a report from the Judiciary Committee. Chairman Bryant, you are recognized.
Good evening, everybody. So Judiciary met yesterday at 6 p.m. at the School of Law in the KJ Williams courtroom. We were there till about 8 p.m., so thank you, the committee, for the due diligence of doing a student's business. So we had 3 hearings that we conducted. The first one, I'll just run through them and give you the report. We had a Miss Brianna Smalls, the National Lobbying Agency Director. She was found favorable by a vote of 5-1. We next had a hearing for Miss Macy Galt for the position of Associate Justice. She was found unanimously favorable by the committee. Then we also had a third and final hearing for Mr. Alex Blumenthal for the Elections Commission. He was found favorable by a vote of 3-1. The first hearing was also done by a joint vote, joint committee with power responsibility. And with that, I will yield to questions.
The chairman yields to questions. Are there any questions for the chairman? Seeing none, thank you so much. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Proper flag code has flags. This is incorrect, so excuse me for a moment.
Thank you so much, Chairman Bryant. We will now hear a report from the Powers and Responsibilities Committee. Chairman Harvey, you are recognized.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Obviously, we met yesterday along with Judiciary and also found the Brianna Spalls favorable. And we will be meeting tomorrow at 6:30 because we have 2 vacant seat Senate interviews. That's all.
Do you
I
yield
yield
to
my time.
questions? The chairman yields to questions. Are there any questions for the chairman? Seeing none, thank you so much. We will now hear a report from the Student Life Committee. Chairwoman Malachi, you are recognized.
Hi everyone. So Student Life met today actually at 4:30, even though our meeting times typically are Mondays, but due to the holiday, we pushed our meeting back. We kind of just talked about individual legislation that we want to get done. Next week, we're planning to work on a committee-wide legislation on that microwave legislation that we've kind of been whispering about, and that's our goal to get done next week. And with that, I yield my time to questions.
The chairwoman yields to questions. Are there any questions for the chairwoman? Seeing none, thank you so much. We will now have a report from the Sustainability Committee. Chairman Hensley, you are recognized.
Hey, not a whole lot this week, but Sustainability met on Monday at 5:30 to do a interview of a candidate, and you'll see more about that later. She was found unanimously favorable, along with the Health and Safety Committee as well. And currently, if I am not mistaken, the Sustainability Committee does not have the numbers to be able to meet quorum. So when that motion period comes around, please consider joining. We meet on Mondays at 7, so that would be awesome. And normal business, just working on our initiatives. That's all. Yield to questions.
The chairman yields to questions. Are there any questions for the chairman? And point of information, we will be sitting here in the motion period until that committee does reach quorum. So please consider joining the Sustainability Committee and making our world a greener place. Senator Hamilton.
I believe we need just one additional member to get to that.
Point of information, so if you have availability on Monday at 7 and would like to join an amazing committee that works with the Sustainable Carolina office, please consider joining. Senator LaPenta. Any other questions for the chairman? Seeing none, thank you so much. We will now hear a report from the Freshman Council. Are there any representatives from the Freshman Council present? You may come down and give a report before the body.
Hi everyone, we're here from Freshman Council and we'll be giving the committee updates. So starting with DEI committee, we're planning to put on the Hollings Gala, which is focused on presenting the true American story on February 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. This will be focusing on the marginalized communities that are featured in the Hollings Library, and this is a gala that is tailored to all members of the Carolina community to come and learn about the artifacts that are featured. There will also be 2 graduate student speakers who will speak a little bit on the research relating to the current artifact showcase. A raffle will also be taking place to give money back to the Hollings Library, with prizes such as gift cards and jerseys signed by Don Staley. And as of now, we've reached out to members from pre-professional communities as well as the IFC. Community Outreach held a successful holiday party event at Epworth Children's Home, which was compiled with competing cookie decorating, football games, and connecting with local youth. They look forward to talking to the State House about presenting their next initiative. Student Life Committee had their Carolina Cast-Off event, which was a huge success with partnership with student government as well as RHA. We appreciate everyone that came out for the event, as well as those who volunteered. Thank you to the RHA and the Center for Health and Wellbeing for their contributions as well, and we are in the works for new events this coming semester.
As for health and safety is looking to do self-defense classes on campus, and over finals week they have the chalking events to allow students to write their goals and kind of get some stress out. As for academics, Academics is hosting a tabling event called Hot Drinks for Hot Takes outside T-Coop later in the month to gather input on what student opinions are regarding academics in exchange for coffee and tea. And they're also working to try and integrate a database for syllabi so that students are able to see them beforehand when choosing and switching classes. And they're also working on encouraging legislation to promote uploading a syllabi prior to the week of the class. As for sustainability is currently trying to promote the Echo Recycling app, which we won use for the spring semester after the competition last semester. And right now they're also trying to work to collaborate with Greek Life to have a pop tab drive for Ronald McDonald House, which can earn money from these taps being recycled. And also working with Sustainable Carolina and a zero waste team to host a sustainable cooking class. I yield my time for questions.
The representatives yield to questions. Are there any questions for the representatives? Seeing none, thank you so much. And let's give them a round of applause. Amazing job, guys, and thank you so much for your hard work. We will now hear a report from the Constitutional Council. Chief Justice Buchmeier, you are recognized.
All right, good evening, everyone. Hope you're having a great week. As usual, I have nothing really of substance to report, except that over the past few weeks, as part of the closet cleanouts, it was discovered that the court's robes had gone missing. Some have called it a crisis, others have not. Needless to say, through the hard work of Associate Justice Jackson and myself, we have now tracked down new robes, and I believe they have been ordered, thanks to our tireless work of our advisors. So it's a big update for the week, and with that, I yield to questions.
The Chief Justice yields to questions. Are there any questions for the Chief Justice? Seeing none, thank you so much. And we are so glad and happy that new robes have been ordered. So excited to see them when they arrive. We are now in line for from a report from the Speaker of the Student Senate, Cameron Eubanks. Chief of Staff Tax, you are recognized.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to keep this short and sweet for today. So just a reminder about dress code. Girls, that means a blouse or a blazer or a dress. Guys, that means a suit preferably. Again, if you need help with that, please come to me. I can provide you resources with Carolina Closet. If you have class beforehand, we have a brand new coat rack in the LSC in the back closet. So if you need to utilize that, please let us know. We will be happy to help you with everything. Also for attendance, again, you have 3 unexcused absence after the 3rd. You will get an email from us saying you violated the attendance policy, and then during your 4th, there will be a motion to remove you as a senator. So just make sure you're aware of that. Again, if you are close, we probably already emailed you. So just please, it's so easy to be excused. If you just emailed me and fill out a proxy form, it is that simple, I promise. From the speaker staff, we wanted to congratulate Freshman Council on such a successful event. We look forward to working with you for the next few months. Again, those are great opportunities to get absences excused. We offer that opportunity, and I don't think anybody took that up yesterday. So I just want to make sure that you guys know, if you go to 2 events, that is 1 unexcused absence that becomes excused. So we're giving you those opportunities. So I'm just going to put that out there. But with that, I yield my time to questions.
The Chief of Staff yields to questions. Are there any questions for the Chief of Staff? And point of information here as well. There's a bunch of events coming up from Freshman Council. Also, there will be some events from our offices. So please try your best to make it out. Obviously, serving your constituents is being here in this room and going to your committee meetings, but it's also being engaged in student government as a whole as well. So please try to make it out. Also, in the attendance front, committee meetings do count in attendance. So it's just as easy to text your chair to get it excused as it is to text Courtney to get it excused and fill out a proxy form. So please keep in mind that committee attendance does count into your overall Senate attendance as well. Is there any other questions for the Chief of Staff? Seeing none, thank you so much. We are now in line for a report from the student body treasurer. Chief of Staff Duty, you are recognized.
Hello, everyone. We don't have too much to report. The only thing is the money that we got from reimbursements that weren't allocated, or the allocations that weren't completely used. So an organization requested money, they didn't use all of it, we get that money back. That's now been reallocated, and that's the bill that's coming through now. And that's going to be on a rolling basis. So just as organizations don't use all the money that they're given, we're just going to push it back through into the requests that are currently sitting in the queue. And with that, I yield the questions.
The Chief of Staff yields to questions. Is there any questions for the Chief of Staff? Seeing none, thank you so much. We are now in line for a period of report from the Student Body Vice President. President Thompson, you are recognized to give a report.
Hey y'all, Abriana couldn't be here tonight, so I'm just going to give her a quick update. The Spy About Hunger link is live, so be sure to spread that to anybody who you know is in need of that, and spread the word. With that, I yield to questions.
The President yields to questions. Is there any questions for the President? Seeing none, thank you so much. Now we are in line for a period of report from the Student Body President. President Thompson, you are once again recognized.
Thank you. I'll keep it short this week, but presenting at board on Friday, we talked about that. GR is working hard on their reports. Carolina Day is February 13th, so be sure to keep that in mind. We are working on getting the library open again for 24 hours this finals week. We had pretty successful data to show that it was a success last time. Midweek, there were 67 people in there at 4 a.m. Just again, State of the Student Body is on February 1st. If you have any particular information that you want included in that speech, because I do want it to have a consensus of all of the branches, be sure to have that to me by Monday, January 22nd. Also, if you sing or play piano and would be willing to do so for the alma mater at that, please text me. Also, a reminder, Hoops Week is February 6th through the 13th. That's a partnership with the men's and women's basketball teams and Gamecock Entertainment. We'll be having 2 student government tailgates, a huge marketing push that week, and an Uber discount that weekend. And then reminder to check the GroupMe for info about a fun event next Thursday. I think I had something else, too. Oh, the robots arrived on Monday, so you might have seen them wheeling around campus. And anything else? Oh, we had the House Ways and Means Subcommittee on Higher Education today. Huge, successful reception from the president. It was just a really pleasant experience, and so the university should be super proud. But with that, I will yield to questions.
The President yields to questions. Are there any questions for the President? Senator Morgan.
I'm not going to go into detail about the full budget request and stuff just because that's kind of tedious. But basically, it was just a discussion of what we are requesting the state's allocation be in comparison to the governor's budget. And, I mean, do you want some specific examples of just things or? Sure, things that would be beneficial. Basically, we talked about workplace development, what jobs and majors we're supporting here with the state allocation funds that will then go on to shape South Carolina's workforce. How we are improving the student experience, how we are mitigating tuition, and then some other capital projects that are in the works.
Any other questions for the President? And point of information as well, Gamecock Entertainment did want me to let everyone know that their event called Pop-In with the President is happening tonight from 6 to 7:30. Obviously, all of your beautiful faces are here, but as soon as we end, definitely consider going by the President's house to pop in with the President and eat pop-related things such as popcorn, soda, cake pops, jalapeno poppers, all of those individual things, and get to discuss with the President. Like I said, again, that is from 6 to 7:30 at the President's house. On the
I'm allergic to popcorn, so you all should be there and see it.
Any other questions? Any other questions for the Student Body President? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
We are now in line for special orders of the Senate. Are there any letters, petitions, appointments, applications, or other the clerk will now read?
A communication from the Office of the Speaker of the Student Senate concerning the resignation of Ann Lazarenu and Macy Galt from the position of Student Senator.
Received. Continuing on, the clerk will now read. Seeing no more special orders of the Senate, we are now in line for the motion period. Are there any motions on the floor? Point of information, this is a time where you can add or remove yourself from any committee you wish. You must be in at least one committee with a maximum of 3. And just a reminder, we will not be leaving this period until sustainability gets at least one more beautiful member added to its roster. Chairpersons, this is also a time to confirm your nominees from your interviews as well. Right. Chairman Hensley. There's been a motion to confirm Talia Porzio to the position of Secretary of Campus Wellbeing. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The nominee is confirmed. Any other motions on the floor? Senator Whitehead. There's been a motion to add Senator Whitehead to the Sustainability Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Any other motions on the floor? Senator Lynn. There's been a motion to remove Senator Lynn from the Powers and Responsibilities Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Chairwoman Durham. Don't think I'm going to recognize that motion. Point of inquiry, are you trying to add that person to the Finance Committee? To be added to the committee, or is he a nominee nominated by another office? Because yes, so those committee assignments were approved last session, but good thinking, good thinking. So those committee assignments were approved last session, so he is all good to go. Yeah. Chairwoman Durham. There's been a motion to add Chairwoman Durham to the Ad Hoc Committee on Financial Reform. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Any other motion on the floor? Senator Hurd. There's been a motion to add Senator Hurd to the Sustainability Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Any other motions? Senator Haber. There's been a motion to add Senator Haber to the Judiciary Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Senator Hamilton. There's been a motion to remove Senator Hamilton from the Finance Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Senator Bean. There's been a motion to remove Senator Bean from the Health and Safety Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Does the clerk have all of those standings? Clerk will tabulate just for a moment. As I see, we're through the halfway point. Any other motions on the floor? Chairman Harvey. There's been a motion to confirm Brianna Smalls as Director of the National Lobbying Agency. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The nomination, or the nominee, is confirmed. Chairman Bryant. There's been a motion to confirm Macy Galt to the position of Associate Justice. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The nominee is confirmed. Chairman Bryant. There's been a motion to confirm Alex Blumenthal to the Elections Commission's member. All in favor say aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The nominee is confirmed. Any other motions on the floor? Senator Lynn. There's been a motion to remove Senator Lynn from the Judiciary Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Chairman Harvey. There's been a motion to remove Chairman Harvey from the Health and Safety Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Chairman Harvey. I'll recognize that motion as soon as we get to the end of the period. Senator Byer. There's been a motion to remove Senator Byer from the Inclusion and Equity Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Senator Gruner. There's been a motion to add Senator Gruner to the Sustainability Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Senator Hamilton. There's been a motion to add Senator Hamilton to the Judiciary Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Senator Byer. There's been a motion to add Senator Byer to the Health and Safety Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Senator Bean. There's been a motion to add Senator Bean to the Judiciary Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Is there any other motions on the floor, preferably a committee addition or removal? Seeing none, we'll give the clerk a moment to tabulate before we move on. Oh, Senator Felix, I apologize. There's been a motion to add Senator Felix to the Student Life Committee. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. Any other motions, preferably committee additions or removals? Any other motions on the floor? Chairman Harvey. There's been a motion to suspend the rules to allow the newly confirmed nominees to come down and take their oaths of office. Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. The nominees can now come to the front of the podium to take the oath of office, for which our Chief Justice has removed himself from the chambers. We're going to wait just one moment while we go call our Chief Justice back into the chambers. You guys may... Is there a motion to take a 3-minute recess? Without objection, so ordered. Senate back to order. As we are still in a suspension of the rules, I invite the nominees to come down before the podium to have their oath of office be delivered by my Chief of Staff. Congratulations, newly confirmed Secretaries and Elections Commission member. And with that, is there any other motions on the floor? Seeing no more motions, is there a motion to dispense with the motion period? Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered. We are now on the call of the introduction of new legislation. The clerk will now read.
SBL 11547, introduced by Senator Vaught, a recommendation to permit the Senate Finance Committee to allocate funds to student organizations.
Senator Vaught, you're recognized to speak on the legislation.
Give me a second. My laptop is starting up. Okay, so this week, or last week in Finance Committee, we were able to allocate to two organizations. A few organizations requested $13,329.39. We allocated $2,104.00 to two organizations, Alpha Kappa Psi and Theta Tau. I yield my
Do you yield to questions?
Yield to questions.
Senator Vaught yields to questions. Is there any questions for the senator? Senator Barnes.
No, I do not. I do not know the exact amount of money left.
Any other questions for the senator? Seeing none, thank you so much. Is there a motion, seeing no more questions, is there a motion to pass by acclamation? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. The legislation is adopted. Continuing on the call, the introduction of new legislation, the clerk will now read.
SBL 11548, introduced by Senator Lynn and Whitehead, a bill to specify the notice and enforcement of absence policy.
Senator Lynn and Whitehead, you are recognized to speak on the legislation.
Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day so far. So this bill is aimed to address what currently is an oversight in the codes. More specifically, if a senator is called on to be voted for the removal of due to an absence policy violation, if they are not voted off the first time, there's currently absolutely nothing essentially in the codes to say what happens after that. Just as kind of a precursor, the intent of this bill isn't to fix or change anything per se. It's to address just simply this open-ended issue we have. And thus, it is based off the current policy, which is, based off my understanding and what I've seen, a mandatory voting every session, as every senator that has been called has been voted on until removal. However, I know that there is cases where there is valid reason for the violation of the absence policy. So with this bill, there is a clause that states that anyone is able to call a vote to halt and void the mandatory voting. And that just kind of ends that until any consecutive violations.
So basically, this is giving people time to get, like, it's what we already have, but it's clarifying, okay, you've done your 3 absences, you got notified, you voted. They give their justification, we allow them to stay. What happens next? Now we're giving them time to attend those extra opportunities. However, if they do then create another absence, that policy allows us to vote again.
I feel that this would be great for allowing Senate to be more of a deliberate body as opposed to something that simply just kind of does what whoever decides to, I guess, choose to call for a vote or such. I feel like it's necessary for us to have the engagement to vote and discuss matters like this.
Yield to questions?
The senators yield to questions. Are there any questions for the senators?
Thank you.
Seeing none, thank you so much. The legislation is referred to the Judiciary Committee. Continuing on the call, the introduction of new legislation, the clerk will now read. Hearing none, we are now on the call of the uncontested calendar, the clerk will now read.
SBL 11546, introduced by Chairman Bryant, a bill to hold committees accountable to nominees.
Chairman Bryant, you are recognized to speak on the legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good evening, everybody. So this is just a follow-up from our meeting last week where we went over this. This was a bill that was requested by the President, Amy Thompson, that she came to me and asked to address this. And so essentially what it does is there's basically just a 48-hour clock that starts once nominations read across the desk. A committee chair then has 48 hours to then invite a nominee to come to their committee to do their hearings, just to make sure that we're holding ourselves accountable not only to those nominees, but to each other and to our processes and to our constituents. And I've sent it and it's been reviewed by the President. And it also has a clause in there just to make sure that we're holding each other accountable in the Senate, that if there's a failure to do that, the Judiciary Committee will inquire just to see what happened and to see if we can alleviate that in the future. If there was a confusion with maybe names, memos, emails, as I know there has been in some cases, and the President has approved of all of these changes.
Do you yield to questions?
I do yield to questions, sorry, thank you.
The chairman yields to questions. Are there any questions for the chairman? Senator LaPinta.
Oh, yes, it's simply to notify them and to invite them to the meeting. It has nothing to do, there's no requirement that you actually meet and have that done. It's just to email them, hey, our committee meets this time, can you do this? Or if you have done a separate meeting for them, you were like, we're gonna meet these times, or when can you, it's just an invitation. Okay. That's the clock for that. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions for the chairman? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Seeing no more questions, we will now move to a vote on the legislation. This will be a voice vote since it was on the uncontested calendar. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The legislation is adopted. The clerk will now continue on with the uncontested calendar. Hearing none, that completes the call of the uncontested legislation. We are now in line for the call of the contested calendar. The clerk will now read. Hearing none, we are now in line for a period of open discussion. Does any senator wish to bring a matter of attention to the body? Seeing none, we are now in line for a period of open announcements. Are there any announcements from the floor? Seeing none, as always, I do have an announcement, and this one's pretty important, so please tune in to what I'm about to say. January is super exciting for the Senate, especially February as well. We've got a lot of events coming up that I'm super excited to announce tonight. my staff is putting together a legislative event night where you can come and you can work with other senators and my staff on things that you want to work on trying to get maybe some extra eyes on a piece of legislation you're writing, but also to encourage you to write more, right? So this will be a really, really fun event. We don't have a lot of concrete details just yet, and we'll get the date out to you soon, but that should be coming within the next week, and that will happen most likely the last week of January, the week of the 31st. So that's super exciting. We also have the Ad Hoc Committee on Financial Reform's presentation of their report on January 31st. That is a really special day because my staff and the Senate itself is inviting a host of special guests to come and witness the work that the Ad Hoc Committee has been doing for the past couple months. We're inviting people from the administration, staff members from Russell House, and people that are pertinent to financial reform here on campus. So they will be coming and attending the session. So that will be a strict business professional session. If someone doesn't meet the dress code set by our office, we will ask you to leave the floor until you can meet the dress code. So this is a very, very important session. So please, please bring out your beautiful business professional things. If you don't have any business professional, Carolina Closet does offer them free with your Carolina card, and they are located at the community shop at the Carolina Coliseum. But what's even more exciting about that day is we are planning a Senate open house right before the presentation, right before the session at 5:30. So starting at 4:30, senators, you will be invited, and all the special guests will be invited to eat hors d'oeuvres and drink refreshments, and you'll be able to get to know the administration, the faculty, staff members of Russell House, and you'll get to possibly talk about financial reform, but also talk about other things that are burdening your constituents and that you're trying to get passed. So it's a really great networking opportunity. I highly encourage you for all to attend. It will be a forgiveness event. We will have name tags for you. So please, please come in your business professional. I understand people have class up till 5:10. I myself have a class. I'm not going that day, but please do not skip your class. Do not follow my example. But that being said, please, please come if you can. There will be hors d'oeuvres, food, refreshments. Not only is it a good networking event, it's a celebration of the work the Ad Hoc Committee and you guys have done this semester as well. So we're super excited to have the administration meet most of you if you haven't met them already. So please put that on your calendar. Most likely it will be 4:30 or 4:45, but we'll get that official time out to you soon. Then the next day on February 1st is the state of the student body. I am calling a special session on that day. You'll get the written memo from my office later this week. Basically what that means is we will open the state of the student body just like a normal session. Attendance will be taken and it will count against your committee attendance because the speaker does reserve the right to call a special session if he or she permits. So the reason I call that is because Senate is being directly involved in this year, which is super exciting. You guys will have a special seat towards the front and in the middle. The justices will be off to the left or right of you in their robes. Special guests will be there. And then the four execs will be sitting behind the president as she makes her remarks. Like I said, I'll be opening the state of the student body with the banging of the gavel and a couple other procedural things. Then we'll motion to suspend the rules and allow the president to come and give the state of the student body address. And then I will close out the state of the student body by adjourning us, and we will sing the alma mater. And then we will leave with just all of the accomplishments that we have done this term and just a feeling of just all of you being amazing and for all the hard work you've done this term. So please, please consider coming. Like I said, it will count against your committee attendance if you do not submit an excuse to me or Courtney. But it should be an awesome event, and that is also business professional as well. So lots of events coming up the last weekend or the last week of January. So please, please try to be present at your committee meetings. I understand election season is coming up. If you have any questions or are interested in running, for Student Senate or even the speakership, please, please come and talk to me. I've done both. I can give you everything about it, the logistics of it, what running looks like. Please, please come and talk to me, just because the 4 execs can give really good pictures of what our executive positions look like and how many hours and what things we do and what the job entails. But I also can give a really good perspective on running for Senate as well. So please consider that. There is an interest meeting, I believe, tomorrow. If you look in the Student Government Instagram, you can see the location and the time. Again, it is a really good time for you to go and get those questions answered by the Elections Commission. So please consider doing that. Filing is early February. So again, you're not allowed to announce that you're running until filing is complete and after that mandatory candidates meeting. But I would encourage you, the 115th goes until mid-March. So please do not let campaigning distract you from the work you can get done right now. January and February is prime legislative season. So please, please, if you haven't reached out to my office or to your chairpersons or to your vice chairpersons about ideas that you're working on, please, please do that so we can give you some perspectives. I know I have a whole list of people I need to get back to about giving some insight and giving some looking over their legislation. So please, please do not hesitate to reach out or bounce ideas off of us. Your chairpersons have been informing us at Rules about all the amazing things that you guys have cooking and the ideas that you have. We just need to push it over that finish line and get it into some legislation. So again, my legislative aide is available to meet with you to help you write that legislation. The legislative event will be a really great opportunity to get started writing or to get some eyes on it. So please do not hesitate to reach out to my office. And with that, I think I will end my announcement period. Does anyone have any questions for me? Senator LaPenta. Yes. So the special session is the state of the student body. So the special session will take place at 6 o'clock in Rutledge Chapel on Thursday, February 1st. Like I said, we will open it like we do every session with a call to order. Then I will ask for a motion to suspend the rules to allow the student body president to come up and give her address. We will take attendance not as officially that day. We'll not do the call of the roll because it is a little weird for special guests coming to sit there as you all say aye or present or not present, right? So we will be taking attendance in kind of a different way that we're still trying to iron out. But it will kind of follow like a session. Yeah. Senator LaPenta. Yes, so that is at Russell. We're still trying to determine the location of where that's going to be, but most likely it's probably going to be in a ballroom, and we're all just going to walk over at 5:20, and we're going to start the session. That session is going to be longer. I probably anticipate it is going to be the longest session we've had this term because the ad hoc committee has done a lot of work. And the report is extensive, which is amazing. So please prepare your evenings. We're probably going to be here past 6:30. So just as a heads up and forewarning. Any other questions? All right, and if you again have any more questions or concerns, please contact me. You'll be getting email from me with my Calendly link. I want to meet with you, so please go on my Calendly. That'll show exactly when I can meet and where I will be at that time. And so I look forward to helping you guys get through this last big push on our legislative season. All right, and with that, is there any other announcements on the floor? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Is there a second? Without objection, so ordered, the Senate will now stand adjourned until Wednesday, January 23rd, 2023.